Drop me off in Harlem, any place in Harlem. There's someone waiting there.
Chef J.J. Johnson discovered cooking at a young age, standing alongside his grandmother, who brought Caribbean influences into the kitchen. He later trained at the Culinary Institute of America and got his cooking chops in some of New York City's top kitchens.
But it was an email from famed restaurateur Alexander Smalls that changed his life. In 2013, Chef J.J. helped Smalls open the Cecil in Harlem, New York's first Afro-Asian American restaurant. And in late 2013, sister restaurant Minton's opened right around the corner. In 2015, he received a nomination from the James Beard Foundation as Rising Star Chef, and we are thrilled to have Chef J.J. Johnson join us for a 4th of July dish. Welcome.
Welcome. Thank you for having me.
It's great to have you, and tell us what you got here.
Well,
Perfect 4th of July meal.
Let's start off with this. I call it the jet lag.
I like that you start off with this.
The jet lag,
Yes,
good name.
for the travel.
Yes. What's in this?
A little bit of Elijah Craig, bitters, Grand Marnier.
Ooh, I'm awake.
So this is the ultimate feast for the 4th of July. I have some St. Louis cut ribs. It comes with hibiscus glaze, tangy, sweet, spicy. Macaroni and cheese here with fresh garganelli pasta, smoked Gouda cheese, 2-year-old cheddar, little scallions on top. My favorite dish is the peri-peri prawns, right here with a yam flapjack, just amazing. And then raw collard greens. I don't know if you've ever had raw collard greens, but raw collard green salad. And you know, growing up, I hated okra, but I figured out a way how to make it taste really good. So some okra fries, no dipping sauce. And this is just the ultimate 4th of July meal.
We mentioned that you were cooking alongside your grandmother, who sounds like she was just wonderful. But when did the bug bite you? When did you know this is what I want to do with the rest of my life?
You know, I was a kid watching cartoons, but my grandmother would be cooking in the kitchen listening to like loud salsa music. And I would always just migrate into the kitchen and kind of stand underneath her shoulder on a step stool. I was peeling carrots at the age of 3 and 4.
She made cooking fun for you.
She made it super fun. So it was in my DNA. And then I saw this commercial to go to Culinary Institute of America. I think it was the only commercial they've ever created. And
how old were you? 7, 8?
7, 8.
Yeah.
You actually remember that moment?
Yes.
Seeing the commercial and saying, I'm going to do
And then going
this.
to my mom and saying, this is what I'm going to do.
And what did she say?
She just laughed.
Really?
She said, no, you don't worry. You'll probably be like a doctor or a politician. And I said, no, I'm going to be a chef.
From what I read, when you started there, things didn't exactly work out that well in the beginning.
No, it wasn't. I was probably the worst in my class.
Worst?
A chef told me, if your haircuts were as good as your knife cuts, you'd be really good. But he was right, because you know, when you get your haircut, you tell your barber, make sure it's perfect. So if you take that same element in the kitchen, you'd be really good. So one day it just kind of clicked for me.
So that was actually a turning point for you when you said that?
Yeah, I mean, that was the turning point. I didn't get it then, but a couple of years later, then I started to understand, you know, working in some of the really good kitchens in New York City.
We mentioned Alexander Smalls, and it seems like he had a huge influence on the chef that you have become.
Yeah, I mean, I got a first email from Alexander when I was on Rocco's dinner party and I won. I didn't know who he was. He told me to meet him in Harlem. It was only 10 blocks away from my house. I thought he was stalking me, but he lived 10 blocks away too. And then I got this email about going to work in Ghana, cooking in Ghana. And I was like, I have to go. And Alexander was like, I'm not gonna cook, but you're coming with me. So it was a little bit over a month. And that's when I really got to see the Afro-Asian cuisine firsthand.
What did you see there that really struck you?
You know, the first thing I was able to see was the love and the passion that I remember from my grandmother cooking, but also that food should be an aroma. Like when you get this dish in front of you, it should brighten up your face. It should smell amazing.
Well,
and then the
that
flavor
drink
profile.
certainly brightened up my face and my eyes. As we get your signature on this dish, I want to ask if you could have this meal with any person, past or present. Who would that person be? I
would say past would have to be Marilyn Monroe. Ooh. And present would be the president and the first lady.
That's quite a dinner combination.
Chef J.J. Johnson, thank you so much. And for more on Chef J.J. and the dish, please head to our website at cbsthismorning.com.